everyone. Thanks for tuning in to the Mac and Fish podcast. I'm Coach McKinley Roll. I'm here with my co-host, Charles Fishmine, better known as Fish. Fish, what's going on?
Not much. Ready to roll.
All right. Well, hey, today we got a great guest on, Coach Manasco, head coach of Palmetto, a powerhouse down in South Florida. Fish, talk a little bit about your alma mater.
Oh, man. Growing up, they always had pretty good teams, 7, 8, 9 win type teams, but never the chance of winning a state championship. It was really, hey, let's beat our main rival, Killian High School. And, they come out of the gate, beat Sunset, beat Coral Park, and then come Southridge. And before Coach Manasco ever got to Palmetto, beating Southridge was basically a pipe dream unless they were way, way down. And so he changed the program. He came from a program in Westland Hialeah that was a start. I think he started the program and didn't have a lot of talent at that program, and actually had some success there, and then got hired at Palmetto where he went to high school, and he changed the whole fortunes of not only Palmetto, what they could do district-wide, but also what they could do statewide. Coach, the first question we have for you is, you did coach at Westland Hialeah. How did that experience help you as a head coach and then preparing you for a step up at a program like Miami Palmetto?
I actually got my start at Southridge, and I was there with some really good old coaches, and they just kind of prepared me. I kind of coached my first couple of years with my mouth shut. And, when that opportunity at Westland happened, it was just kind of like, do I really want to do this? And, I ended up getting involved and, falling in love with that community and those kids. And, I realized I wasn't a very good coach, had zero talent, but had a bunch of hardworking kids, and we won a few ball games and kind of got our name out there. And then Palmetto opened up, and, it kind of just allowed us, because most of my coaches coached or played at Palmetto, so it kind of allowed us to get there. But, those times at Westland, I look back on those times all the time. I mean, we coached our butt off, but, when you don't get the results, it doesn't really look great in the eyes of the fans and the people that are looking at the win-loss record.
10-4. Well, Miami Palmetto has had already a good program. The ceiling was about 8 to 9 wins, win a district championship, and beat Killian. You get there, and now the discussions about Miami Palmetto competing and potentially winning a state title. What changed, Coach?
When I got there, they hadn't had a winning season in 5 or 6 years, and it just seemed like, that things just weren't going well. A lot of the kids that normally would go to Palmetto were kind of going to other places. So I think that, just getting in there and being from this area and understanding that dynamic and that landscape and all the great communities that Palmetto serves, and just getting the culture to the point where, the kids love football and they believed in each other and they wanted to do things the right way. I think that's the biggest thing. I mean, we've got great kids. I don't have to sit up at night and worry about these kids. They're doing, for the most part, they're doing the right things. I think the culture change was the biggest thing for our success on the field.
Last year you had a team that, had a ton of potential. A lot of people, including me, thought you had a legitimate shot to win a state title. You came up short. What can you take away from that disappointment to possibly help you guys get over the hump this year and win a state title?
Yeah, that was a huge disappointment. And I think everybody felt that, because last year was legitimately our first, because the year before we had a really good, we've been 10 or 9-2 the last 4 years, and we had a really good shot, the year before that even, and then Columbus just kind of showed us up. And then we really felt like last year was our first legitimate shot. But it just turned out we were just so young and inexperienced on the offensive side of the ball, and looking back to that, I think that drove the kids from January to March when we got shut down was the best workouts we've had at Palmetto since I've been there. Just a great group of seniors just wanting to play and wanting to compete and show people that, down south, Palmetto in that area, our area is just as good as anybody else in the county.
The Palmetto Five. Recruiting fans all want to discuss the Palmetto Five: Marshall, Collier, Smith, Collins, and Taylor. For those that don't know your program, they need to realize your team is made up with more than just those guys. Speak about that, Coach.
Oh, yeah. The Palmetto Five, I don't even know where that came from. It's kind of silly to me. But, we're very blessed with a lot of great kids. Besides those 5, Derek Edwards is committed to Louisville. Dwight Dassaw is committed to FAU. Mark Charlemagne, Melvin Dean, Lamont Morrison, Jake McCree, just a bunch of guys that have been with us for 4 years and are really, they're ready to show, or 3 years, and they're ready to show their senior year. And then the young guys we have, that class of 2022 with our quarterback Kevin Smith and our receivers Mike Jackson and Bobby Golden. And then we've got a slew of running backs, Tyrone Maxwell, Isaiah Mosley, Marlon Hanna, just a great young group of offensive players that are just ready to break out. And they showed some last year. I think, even in that last playoff game we lost, Bobby Golden had like 7 catches for 150 yards. So, wow. We're just so excited to get out there and start playing ball again.
And talking about one of the players you had last year, Kentron Poitier, he was a player that kind of flew under the radar, signed with Florida State. He's already making an impact. Are you surprised that he's making an impact already?
Not at all, man. That guy, his ceiling is limitless. I mean, think about it. He played football for 2 years. He was a basketball stud coming out, but the reason I knew he was going to be well from day one, he was quiet and he worked his butt off, and he's very coachable. And I'm not surprised at all, man. They just posted a couple clips of the scrimmage from last night where he had 2 great catches. And he's working with the ones already at Florida State as a true freshman.
Well, it's been extremely hard with the restrictions by the district, Coach. How have you been able to communicate with your players over this time, and what have you all been able to do, as a coaching staff and as a program?
Yeah, it's just been, we're in the dark, really. We're getting this slow drip of information from our county, and it's sad, because you would think that we would have some sort of idea of when we could start or what we could do, and it's just been basically radio silence. So for me and my kids, our staff's really close together, and I started out where we Zoomed our kids once a week, and we were doing I was sending out workouts every day, and then the kids started latching on and going to different places to get in their own work. Because like I said, we have a great group of kids that just want to be good. So really a lot of that stuff they've been doing on their own because, we just can't do anything. We've been basically iced out. We can't have kids on campus. We can't be around them. It's been tough, especially a program like ours where we have such a family atmosphere with our kids. My phone blows up every day with these guys, and I love it, and I love them, and man, I just can't wait to get back with them.
With so many talented players on your roster, and you have so many guys getting recruited, how involved are you in their recruitment as far as not steering them, but advising them on certain situations that may be best for them? How involved are you in their recruitment from that standpoint?
You sound like the college guys, Fish. I tell you what, man, what I tell all these people is it's not my job to tell these kids where to go. It's my job to provide the opportunities for them. And that's all I want to do. I want to be the person that can, present the vehicle of how they can do whatever it is they want to do. Now, obviously, there's certain situations that are going to be better than others. There's certain things that sometimes kids don't understand that they need to understand. But I'll sit down with them. I'll sit down with their parents, and we'll talk about it. And I'm involved, obviously, but I'm not going to tell them where to go. I'm going to give them the opportunity. It's not my job to tell them where to go. It's my job to help them, get the facts and learn about each place. And, we do a good job in the summers, unfortunately not this one, but we, in the past, of just going to different college campuses and allowing these kids to see these things. Because to me, that's the most important thing. They need to see it. They need to feel it. They need to be around it. But yeah, I get a lot of flack from fans, but guys, I'm not here to tell kids where to go to school. That's for sure.
Good deal. All right, Coach, last question. Do you feel that the state title is not legit without South Florida this year in the state? That's first part of the question. Second, what are your thoughts on how the FSAA has handled this entire deal?
Yeah. I don't even know how colorful I can get on this because
hey, you get as colorful as you want, Coach.
I've been so disappointed, man, with the governing body of our state when it comes to athletics, and I just couldn't believe the process that these people do and go through in order to decide the outcomes of things and how one-sided they seem to be. But there's no way you could have a state championship and not include South Florida. that just doesn't make any sense. And I know I'm sure the northern part of the state has their reasons and whatnot. And I'm starting to find out a lot more from our constituents down here, our city schools. And I'm the coaches that we've been talking, and, they're to the point where they've been fed up with the FHSA. Palmetto's kind of new to the table by that standard, and, I'm going to support what Dade County wants to do, but I've been very disappointed with the FHSA, and I've been disappointed with our county because, at some point somebody's got to stand up and say something. We haven't even put a plan out there. We haven't even said, hey, we're not starting this date, or we're starting that date, or hey, so it's disappointing. I know nobody wants to make a bad decision, but that's why they make the money. They got to make a decision. So, we kind of are. I hate being in the dark, and it's frustrating.
Yeah, no doubt, Coach. Palm Beach is in the same boat. Just so you don't, I think they're all trying to work together. Palm Beach, Broward, and Dade. But you're absolutely right. I echo your statement and how you feel. I don't feel as though we've gotten a direction and a plan out there. And a lot of people look to us to give hundreds of kids some direction, right? I mean, and you're kind of guessing because you don't know what to tell them. It's a shame, and hopefully everything could get worked out because the talent that you guys have on your program and what you guys as a coaching staff have been able to do, it'd be a shame if you're not in contention for that. So, just want to wish you luck and to say thank you for coming on.
I really appreciate it, man. Yeah, I think as coaches, especially down here in the Tri-County area, the closer we can get together, maybe even start some sort of, coaches association for us so our voice is heard. Because the one thing I have noticed throughout this is that our voice isn't heard. And I think that's something that's got to change.
Agree. Coach, how does, are you on Twitter?
Yeah, we're on at Panther Pride 305 is the Palmetto Twitter.
Okay. All right. We like to give our listeners a chance to be able to follow you guys and follow your program. So, just so we could support you from a distance.
That'd be awesome, man. That would be great.
Appreciate you coming on, Coach.
Yes, thank you.
All right, guys. Hey, appreciate it, man. Best of luck to you. I'm really excited we're getting more football podcasts out there that actually get some good people on and some good content. I don't think there's enough of it.
Well, we look forward to having you back on possibly during the season when stuff gets rolling. So,
man, I tell you what, I can't wait. Appreciate you guys.
All right, Coach, thank you.
Yes, sir.
What's going on, everyone? Thanks for tuning in to the Mac and Fish podcast. I'm Coach McKinley Roll, and I'm here with my co-host, Charles Fishbine, better known as Fish. Fish, what's going on?
Doing great.
Hey, today we're lucky to have one of the best coaches in the state of Florida. Some feel he is the best coach in the state of Florida. Coach Mike Coe. One guy that I really respect in this business. Has had a lot of consistent success. Fish, talk a little bit about Madison County and Coach Coe.
Well, the numbers are very impressive. He's 112, 30, and 1 as a head coaching record. Won the last 3 state titles. Ever since I've been in this business, Madison County's been one of the top programs throughout the state of Florida, and it's definitely one of the places if you want to go on a Friday night, and we're going to discuss this later. Madison County is a great place to watch a high school football game.
No doubt. Well, Coach, thanks for joining us. Madison County has had a ton of success as a football program. Would you say is it the players, the coaching, or the program itself?
No, I'd be foolish to say that we didn't have some really good football players. We've been blessed with, some really, really good ones. But I feel like a majority of our young men are just really good high school football players who joined the program. Some of them, most of them, at a real early age from Little League all the way up. And we run the same things. And we have a good middle school program that believes the same things we do as a staff, and they start lifting early and running and conditioning and things like that. So I think it's a combination of both. I got a really good coaching staff. Our community supports it. Our administration is behind it. Our other coaches of other sports, we all get along really well and share our athletes. Most of our better athletes play at least 2, but there's several that play all 3 major sports. So I think it's a combination of all of it and the expectations here. And, honestly, there's not a whole lot else to do. We don't have a movie theater, a bowling alley, a skating rink. There's not a lot to do. So, football's the big deal.
Yes, sir. Well, some great players have come through Madison County. Travis Jay, Geno Hayes, Chris Thompson. Why do you think so many great players come out of that area? It's not that big, but it's just that success rate, that hit rate.
Yeah, and so the three that you mentioned, all three are actually from Greenville, which is the smallest little town in Madison County. It butts up to Monticello to Jefferson County. So Geno, Chris, and Travis probably all lived or grew up within a 5-mile radius of each other, which is kind of crazy. I don't know. I don't know, Coach. The scary thing is, and the sad thing is, we probably have a few more that for whatever reason, choices or whatever reason, we probably have a few more that should be mentioned in that category as well, and that bothers me that we don't have more, because we've had a few that's had the ability to play on Sundays, in my opinion, and for whatever reason just didn't get there or didn't finish on Saturdays. But we've just been blessed. It's a per capita, I'd say we're right there with everybody as far as that goes.
Coach Coe, I had the opportunity to watch Lamar Jackson in high school. I thought he was a great football player. I thought he was going to be a great quarterback. A lot of people thought he'd end up at another position. I saw Travis Jay playing quarterback in the state title game, and I saw a lot of similarities between his style play and Lamar. Could Travis play quarterback in high school and have the same type of success, in your opinion?
In college.
In college?
Yeah, I do. So when Coach Norvell first got the job, and everybody was talking about they need to go get quarterbacks, and I said, I'm telling you, you got one right there on your roster that can do it all. And I made this comment, and I'm a little biased. He's my guy. He's the best player I've ever coached, and I've coached 6 or 7 that's played on Sundays, and he's the best one so far. But I feel like if all he did was play quarterback and that's all he focused on, I think he can win a Heisman Trophy. Because he only played it for us for 1 year, because we had a 3-year starter that went to Georgia Southern and all that, and he was so good at DB. And then his senior year, he just didn't come off the field. But he throws the ball effortless. He runs the ball effortless. He is one of the most football smart, high IQ guys that I've ever been around on both sides of the ball. He could be a punt returner, kick returner. There's just nothing I've ever seen him that he couldn't do, And the thing with Travis that always amazed me, and sometimes it'd make you mad because he was so effortless. I've never seen him tired, like ever, like playing both ways all night against really good competition too. And he just never gets tired, and he's so mentally tough, and he's able to compartmentalize things. He can play one play at a time. And I think that comes from playing corner and, just putting the next play behind you. And he just stays so level-headed. Nothing, if he gets beat, he's going to play the next play. If he picks one and takes to the house, he's going to play the next play. He's just very level-headed. But I do, Fish. I do. Again, I'm biased, but I think if that's all he did was just focus on that, he can win a Heisman Trophy, because he is so effortless and everything. And he can throw a football a country mile, but he throws it with touch. Obviously, he can get out of the pocket and do damage. He's just he's one of them once-in-a-lifetime guys, that I was fortunate to coach.
I've been in the business 20 years now, and he's definitely one of the best football players I've watched. And that's why I said I compare him a lot to Lamar. And I definitely think if he played quarterback at Florida State, he'd be a star. I've been to Madison County for a couple games, Coach. I haven't experienced too many places like that for home games. What makes it so special on a Friday night at Madison County for a football game?
Well, I think, our community comes out. Again, it goes back, there's not a whole lot to do. But our community is really good at supporting our kids, not just football. I mean, every sport, the band, everything. If it's kids oriented, man, they're there. It literally sits up on a hill, boot hill. If you're the visitor, you got to make that walk up from the gym and come walk through some dirt and all that. And it's just a special place, and that goes back to our community and our fans, making it special. But our kids have a lot to do with that too. The style of play that we play and the physicality in which they play with. And it's just a tough place to play. I'm glad I'm on this side of
it. No doubt, no doubt. Coach, how important is it for football to come back this fall? For Madison County and the state, how important do you think that is?
Well, and some coaches will disagree with me, and that's fine. I mean, that's what makes America great. We're able to do that. For me, speaking personal experience when I was growing up, and for the majority of young men that I coach, if it weren't for football, I don't know where I would be. My dad was a drug addict and alcoholic. He was never there, and I had my mother as my hero. Both sets of grandparents were great. I mean, I had a good family. It's just my dad was not there, and he was off doing other things and all that. But my football coaches set the tone for my life, about being on time, being punctual, being selfless, being a great teammate, and so I think the reason I've stayed here is a lot of my young men here that I get to coach are fatherless, anywhere from 75 to 85%, depending on the year. And I know how I've been feeling sitting here at home as a 44-year-old man and getting shut down this summer and having our spring season taken from us and all that. And we got to come back. We just finished up our 4th week, and I'm telling you, it's been like Christmas every day. I think these guys realize it can be taken at any day from us, and you can just tell how much they missed it. And it just helps young people grow. It's so much more than just playing the game. The game is the reward and the check you get to cash, but it's the work you have to put in. It's the being a good teammate. It's the playing a position that you may not want to play, but that's where the team needs you. It just teaches you so much more than just going out there winning and losing, and I'm 44 years old and I still draw from everything my high school coaches taught me, about getting your butt up every morning, even if you don't feel good. Get your tail up and go to work with a smile on your face and make somebody else's day better and be the absolute best version of yourself you can be. And kids are going to find something to do, and they're going to find somebody to be with. And I just feel like they're a lot better off with us, with men that care about them, with structure and discipline, and helping them become good daddies and husbands one day. And I think it's and not just football, band, cheerleading, all of it. Kids need something to flock to that's positive. And if we take all that away, I think it could be scary eventually if we don't get it back to some type of normalcy.
Yep, there's no question about that. Coach Coe, you guys have had a lot of success the last couple of years in the state championship. This year may be a little different where you're not playing someone from the South, or, the state may get broken up. Would you look differently upon a state championship this year? Will there be an asterisk next to it, or does it just really not make that much of a difference to you?
Well, I've been told that Pahokie's going to play, so I hope so. I mean, that's kind of become, a rivalry, and obviously I have great respect for their history and their program and their athletes. My goodness, they got some good-looking kids, and last year's game was an epic battle, and I'll be honest with you, Fish, I mean, is that the goal? Yes, that's the goal. But right now, it's just like tomorrow we get to practice. I'm just thankful we get tomorrow, and then hopefully we can keep our kids safe and we don't have a outbreak, and then we get the next day, and hopefully this thing, it seems like the numbers are starting to decline, and go down, and hopefully that stays the case with schools opening up and all that, and those teams down there can get going and be a part of this thing. You know, I absolutely understand and empathize with those schools down there, how they're feeling and all that. But obviously, I've been around this thing long enough. It's a little bit different when South Florida schools are involved, and I think any coach worth his salt definitely wants them involved and them to be a part of it. You know, at the end of the day.
Coach Coe, one thing that I was on the sideline of one of your opponents during a state championship, and I think the one thing that people overlook about your program is you may get off the bus and you're not the biggest looking team, but there's not many tougher, and I call it the Madison County toughness with not only your kids but the program. But can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I mean, you know, we're a rural, small. It's a tough place. I mean, it really is. Now, there's great people here, but I mean, there's a lot of farming and things of that nature, and it's a tough-minded community, and our kids are brought up that way. I mean, they're playing football out in the road, and you know, you'll find our kids. There's a field downtown. Almost every Sunday, you'll find our kids down there. They're going to be playing football, you know, and we try to breed that. I mean, that's one of our pillars. We try to work out fast. You know, we don't stand around a lot in the weight room. We try to be physical at practice without killing each other, and you know, we're not going to take cheap shots and stuff like that. But we condition. And my high school coach, that's where I got it from. Joe Parrish, he was my high school coach at Armandale. But being in the best shape we can possibly be in, or we can play harder or longer, you know. And we really don't focus on the scoreboard. We just want to take care of play by play, but be the most physical team and be the best conditioned team. And we feel like if we are, at the end of the day, we'll have a shot no matter who we play.
Coach, what has your program or school done as far as with these new protocols kind of in place, you know, to make progress athletically? You know, I know it's been hard, you know, with the different restrictions. You know, what have you guys done?
Well, so I'm pretty proud of this. The actual booklet that FHSA sent out, the locker room protocol, that's our plan. That's the plan that our coaches came up with, and we have a staggered system of how we dress, and so none of our kids will dress out with somebody sitting beside them. They'll always have an empty locker beside them. And you know, Coach, the thing is, it just takes a little more time. It's probably things we should have been doing the whole time, you know, honestly, with staph infection and things like that. But I can promise you this now. After this summer, I could be a janitor. I mean, I know how to mix up some stuff and spray, baby. You know, and we come in groups of 9. We got soap and a water hose there, and they're gonna wash their hands before they come in. They're gonna get dressed with that coach. Each coach has 9. When they leave, and they only got 5 minutes to get dressed. And when they come out, that coach is gonna take that sprayer, and he's going to spray down those 9 lockers, you know. And then the next group's going to come in, and that coach is going to do the same thing. And we're going to do the same thing when we leave, you know. And so they're going to wash their hands when they come in, and on the way out, they're going to get hit with sanitizer. And we're going to wear a mask when we're inside the locker room. Each kid will have his mask hanging in his locker, and we're going to wash their clothes every day. You know, it's you know, football is about sacrifice, right? And I hear a lot of people complaining, well, I mean, how bad you want to play football? I'm willing to do a lot of things if it means we can play football, you know, and the main thing is you're keeping your young men safe and out of harm's way, and that should be the main concern above all of it.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, you know, I remember, you know, listening to you speak in Orlando at the Nike coaching clinic, and you talked about how, you know, when you got in that accident, you know, how football is important, but, you know, you started thinking about the other things that were a little bit more important, right?
Yes, sir.
And, you know, that just that totally, hit me again, and kind of tells us why we do what we do. And
Absolutely.
I mean, I just want to let you know, I mean, I respect you, Coach, and I respect you as obviously what you've accomplished on the football field, but the man you are and a role model you are, I think is a great deal for all of us in the state.
Coach, I appreciate that. I really do.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, Coach, I appreciate you coming on today, and we look forward to speaking to you. Hopefully your guys are playing football the next time we get to speak with you, and good luck getting another state championship banner hanging in that school. So.
Yes, sir. Thanks, Fitz. Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, Coach. Hey, Coach, before you go,
yeah.
What's your Twitter handle so people can follow you guys in Madison County football?
Well, we have a football page that one of our coaches runs. I think it's at Madco F Ball, I believe. It's what that is. And then mine is at Zach Bray Letts. That's I got in trouble. I have a fourth kid, my daughter. I have a 2-year-old, but I have no idea how to switch it on Twitter. So my first 3 kids, that's Zach, Braden, and Alexa. So that's my handle, and I figured it'd be way too much to have to create a new one.
Well, we'll make sure to get you a copy of the link so you could share with your fans and family and everything, all right?
Yes, sir. Sounds good.
Thanks, Coach.
Have a great evening.
All right, guys. Y'all have a good one.